there's, like, if this is your present level of leadership ability, then learning something new like levels, in my experience, if you're as immature as me at least, what it will do is your level of leadership ability and effectiveness will actually go down for a while before it then goes up again. For me, this is like 2 years. Hopefully, maybe for most of you, it was only a couple of weeks. But so why is it going down? And I was thinking of two main mistakes I just wanted to share that I've made, hopefully that you won't make or will only make very briefly, or maybe you're also not making it either. The first mistake is projection. So first you learn levels of development, you learn all these categories, and you're like, oh, you're green and you're orange and you're amber and you're teal, and all of a sudden I'm relating to my own mind, I'm not relating to you. And so, and that's why the leadership effectiveness goes down, because people start to feel, and you're just not relating with the world. You're reacting to your own mind. It's just basic projection. And so all these categories to put people in are actually temporarily distracting you from really being with other people. And I went through the mistake of actually, after I learned levels, I first was with people less, and therefore less effective and less compassionate. So that's the first mistake, is projection versus being with people. The second mistake is ego. When we teach this, or when people teach this, they always say, later levels aren't better. And part of us knows that's true. Part of us knows we all have human souls, and human souls are all in this human family together. And we're in this cosmic mystery together. And we're just, best thing to do is just try to help each other make the best of, and have joy in this cosmic mystery that we are. So part of us knows that later levels aren't better. But another part of us says, that's just fluffy spiritual bull. I know later levels are really better. And that part of us, I almost guarantee, and actually, what was her name last night? Shahat. Shahat was saying something that I interpreted to be about this, is whatever we learn spiritually, it will be used by the wrong part of yourself. And so, this is really valuable, useful information, and if you're anything like me, it will be sometimes used by the wrong part of you to make yourself either better or worse than other people.
Yeah.
And I think there's really, well, on one level, there's two basic kinds of ego. People use things to make themselves better, and people that use things to make themselves worse. So I just wanted to take a quick poll of which one you were. So all the people that their ego is to be better than other people.
Both.
Yeah. On a deeper level, I think they're the same thing. And all the people who your ego is to make yourself worse than other people. Yeah.
I have both.
Yeah. And so, when you learn levels, if you have both, when you learn levels, or as I have, I've used this to make myself better and worse than people, even though I don't like to admit that. It's hard, like in this program, I find out everyone else's level of development. And then how to not treat this person who scored amber differently than this person who scored teal, and not to respect the person who scored turquoise or indigo or something more, and to sometimes talking, like subtly talking down to the person who's amber, like they're a little bit stupid, but they're not. And usually, go ahead.
We did, when I lived here, we did it, I think Marjolein did it too, we did a game,
Yeah.
or a kind of play, that we started to be every tier, every color in the Spiral Dynamics.
Yes.
So we started with
2 days.
I did it for 1 week or so. No, for 2 weeks. So we were in beige, the first color for half a day, and felt the worth of it. for me, for example, to make my orange part more
Yes.
strength.
And we're
Because,
going to get to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so this made me, so if you have the opportunity for doing this game or you are interested, it's very worth to be more in it instead of have a mental, because I am not only green or blue or whatever, I have all the layers and some are more strong, some are more,
And we're going to get to that at the end. So, I got to keep moving, but just the basic point is you can learn about levels in like every individual leadership seminar, except for this one. And probably a lot of you know it already. You can also just read about it, but please don't make the mistakes I've made of projecting instead of being with people. Or, yeah, you can project, but also make sure to be with. And then the ego.
Can I offer one thing on this
Yeah.
state comment?
Yeah.
I've done all that Jess has done worse, way worse. Putting people in boxes and talking down to them, and holding up the higher levels. New research that we just started to do is showing us preliminarily that there's levels of development in your way of understanding, using, and being with levels of development, right? So the switch I'm offering, again, from really, brand new research, the data is not fully in yet, but it's coming back like, oh, interesting, is that it looks like a mistake from a perspective where you judge yourself because you cause people pain in some ways by sticking them in boxes. And I resonate with you on that. And the part where part of that guilt for me was freed up was this research. Because I realized, oh, I was just being who I was in that moment when I was causing pain. So the mistake is actually part of the path. So you will make those mistakes or something similar. And we try to move through those rather than avoid the mistake, avoid the mistake, avoid the mistake, which I'm not trying to say is what you're saying.
I get it.
I feel this place of Jesse wants to help you not cause the pain that we and others have caused for people.
I think
Oh,
it
but you will.
will help
Sorry.
in the sense that we'll probably be able to recognize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you saying as well that it is just inevitable that you will cause pain, that it's inevitable that you will go through this you, and that you wouldn't even have to see it as a you if you talk like that? It would all be development on another scale.
it's how we learn, it's, if you learn something new, like when you're a child, you say, flower, chair, you could go green, yellow, blue, that's the phase as well. So if you can recognize it like that, oh look, I'm learning, yellow, green, blue, and know that it's not to be taken too seriously, but that you're learning to work with it, then maybe you go through that, because the levels are also really beautiful, it's such an insight.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's, of course, there's huge gifts to this, but there's also a shadow and a cost to it, is this learning curve. So, leadership agility, the very simple, basic idea is it's interweaving of, or it's the ability to step back, so to step back from any moment, every moment, and to look at it, to look at my behavior, where I just was, my way of thinking, my way of feeling, my way of being, the place I was speaking and acting from, and then to step back forward into life. So to step back, observe, into life. Reflect, observe, into life. Witnessing, embodiment. And of course, they're always both happening at the same time. But the basic core of leadership agility is becoming more and more adept at consciously witnessing and embodying at the same time. So, and this is part of what the level of development that I've studied the most is the action logics by Bill Tobin and Susan Kruger. And one thing that